No one understood the wealthy Chinese woman until the black cleaning lady started talking to her. Jin Yu hurried through the halls of the majestic hotel in South Beach, her steps quick and her eyes red from crying. For 3 months, the elegant Chinese businesswoman had been staying in the presidential suite, becoming a mystery to all the staff who saw her speaking alone in Mandarin while clutching a faded photo to her chest. It was always in the early hours that her screams in Chinese echoed through the 15th floor hallway, leaving the hotel staff completely baffled. No one could understand a single word she said, and she adamantly refused to speak English with any of the staff. At that moment, Jin Yu was more desperate than ever. She had just received another call from Beijing, where her lawyers gave her discouraging news about the search that had driven her life for 15 long years. The photo she held tightly to her chest was of a little girl, just 5 years old, her daughter Lily, who had been taken by her ex-husband, an American man, to a place she didn't know. From the end of the hallway, Darlene watched the scene that repeated every night. The 52-year-old cleaning lady had worked the overnight shift for over 15 years and had never seen so much suffering in one person. Darlene had always been curious by nature, and this situation deeply intrigued her. In her youth, Darlene had worked as a caregiver for a Chinese woman named Mrs. Zhao, who lived alone in Brooklyn Heights. For 20 years, she cared for the elderly woman with dedication, learning not only the language but also Chinese customs and culture. Mrs. Zhao had become like a second mother to her, teaching her Mandarin during quiet afternoons over tea. When Darlene first heard the screams in Chinese coming from the presidential suite, her heart ached. She understood every desperate word that came from Jin Yu's mouth, every plea to the heavens, every lament about a lost daughter. But the hotel's protocol was strict, and she couldn't approach guests without permission. On that rainy Thursday morning, something different happened. Jin Yu stumbled out of the suite in tears, still in her nightgown, and collapsed onto the hallway floor. She screamed in Mandarin that she couldn't take it anymore, that she'd rather leave this life than continue without finding her little Lily. Darlene dropped her cleaning cart and ran to the woman. Without a second thought, she knelt beside her and said in perfect Mandarin, "Don't give up, sister. Your daughter needs you alive to find her." Jin Yu stopped crying instantly. Her eyes widened in shock at hearing her native language spoken by this black woman in a cleaning uniform. For a few seconds, she thought she was hallucinating. You speak Chinese?" Jin Yu asked, still in shock. "Yes, dear. I learned while caring for a Chinese woman for many years. She taught me that our strength comes from hope, not despair." Darlene helped Jin Yu up and guided her back to the suite. There, seated on the sofa in the luxurious living room, the two women talked until dawn. For the first time, Jin Yu shared her story in English mixed with Mandarin, feeling truly understood at last. 15 years earlier, Jin Yu had been married to Michael Reynolds, an American she met in Beijing during a business trip. The relationship had begun like a fairy tale, but slowly, Michael revealed his controlling and possessive side. When Lily was born, their fights grew worse. "He didn't want me to teach Chinese to our daughter," Jin Yu said through tears. "He said she was American and should forget my roots. We fought constantly over it." Darlene listened intently, holding Jin Yu's hands. She felt a special connection to that pain, having also lost touch with important people in her life. "One day he just disappeared with her," Jin Yu continued. "He left only a note saying I'd never see my daughter again, that he'd raise her far away from me as a true American." Darlene realized she needed to tread carefully. The hotel manager, Mr. Wilson, was very strict about the rules regarding staff and guest interactions. If he found out she was visiting Jin Yu, she'd surely be fired. "I'll help you find your daughter," Darlene promised. "But we must be discreet. My job depends on it." In the following days, Darlene developed a careful routine. She'd finish her shift and quietly make her way up to Jin Yu's suite. The two would talk for hours, strategizing ways to find Lily. Jin Yu revealed she had hired several private detectives over the years, but all leads went cold. Michael had changed identities multiple times, always slipping away whenever someone got close to uncovering his whereabouts. "He's very clever," Jin Yu sighed. "He knows the United States better than I do. He knows exactly how to hide." Darlene had an idea. She knew many people in NYC's Chinese community. especially in Chinatown, where there was a large concentration of Asian immigrants. Maybe someone had information about a Chinese girl being raised as an American. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us newcomers a lot. Now back to the story. For a week, Darlene called all her contacts. She knew Chinese restaurant owners, Mandarin teachers, Asian goods merchants. Each conversation brought hope that quickly turned to frustration. Then she spoke with Mrs. Johnson, a fabric vendor with a shop in the downtown market district. Mrs. Johnson mentioned knowing an English teacher who worked in Jersey City and had Asian features but spoke only English. "The girl is lovely," Mrs. Johnson said. "She must be about 20 now. Her father is a bit odd, very overprotective, never lets her talk about the past." Darlene's heart raced. She wrote down every detail and hurried to tell Jin Yu. When Darlene arrived at the suite that night, she found Jin Yu in a pitiful state. The businesswoman lay in bed, refusing to eat, with a high fever and utterly defeated. "I got another call from the lawyers," Jin Yu murmured. "They want me to give up. They say after all this time, maybe my daughter doesn't even want to know me anymore." Darlene sat on the edge of the bed and held Jin Yu's feverish hand. "Listen carefully. I may have found a lead about your daughter." For the first time in weeks, Jin Yu's eyes lit up. Darlene told her about the English teacher in Jersey City and how the description matched what Lily might look like now. "We must go there and see," Jin Yu said, trying to sit up. "Slow down, dear. We can't just show up. If it's really her, this must be handled with great care. Imagine the shock for a young woman raised believing her mother abandoned her." Darlene was right. If this was Lily, the approach had to be extremely delicate. The girl had grown up hearing only her father's version of her Chinese mother's abandonment. They devised a plan. Darlene would enroll in the teacher's English classes, pretending she wanted to improve her language skills for a better job. That way she could observe the young woman up close and confirm if she was truly Lily. However, when Darlene tried to approach Jin Yu the next morning, she was intercepted by Manager Wilson in the elevator. "Darlene, I need to speak with you in my office," he said sternly. Darlene's heart froze. She knew this moment would come, but she wasn't ready. In the manager's office, Wilson got straight to the point. "I've received complaints that you've been visiting the guest in the presidential suite outside your work hours. That's strictly forbidden in our hotel." "Mr. Wilson, I was only helping. She was very distressed and—" "I don't want to hear the details, Darlene. You are forbidden from going near the presidential suite. If you disobey, you'll be fired immediately." Darlene left the office devastated. How would she tell Jin Yu this? How would they continue their search for Lily? When evening came, Darlene went up to the 15th floor with a heavy heart. She found Jin Yu anxiously waiting in the hallway. "What happened? Why did it take you so long to come?" Jin Yu asked. Darlene told her about the conversation with the manager. The two women embraced and cried together, feeling they had lost their only chance to meet. "We can't give up now," Jin Yu said. "I'll talk to the manager. I'll offer money, whatever it takes." "No, Jin Yu. That will only make things worse. I need this job. I have grandchildren to support." Darlene had raised 4 children alone after being widowed very young. Now, at 52, she was helping raise 3 grandchildren whose parents worked long hours to make ends meet. Losing her job at the hotel would be devastating for her family. "Then I'll go alone to find this teacher," Jin Yu decided. "Absolutely not. You don't know the city, you don't speak English well, you could ruin everything." The two argued for an hour, but finally reached an agreement. Darlene would keep helping, but secretly, outside the hotel. She would investigate the English teacher in her free time, while Jin Yu waited patiently at the hotel. Over the weekend, Darlene took 3 buses to reach Jersey City. The English school was in a modest neighborhood, very different from the luxurious South Beach area where she worked. When she arrived at the school, she told the secretary she wanted to enroll in classes. The receptionist was very friendly and took her to meet the teacher. Darlene's heart nearly stopped when she saw the young woman. It was impossible to deny the resemblance to Jin Yu. The same almond-shaped eyes, the same shy smile, the same delicate hand gestures. This had to be Lily. "Hi, I'm Emily," the teacher said with a warm smile. "I hear you'd like to take English classes." Emily, that wasn't her original name. Michael had even changed his daughter's name to erase all traces of her Chinese heritage. "That's right, dear. I need to improve my English to get a better job," Darlene replied, trying to control her emotions. During the first lesson, Darlene observed every detail about Emily. The young woman was 20, exactly the age Lily would be now. She spoke English without an accent, but there was something in her movements that hinted at Asian roots. "Do you have an interesting family?" Darlene asked casually during a break. "It's just me and my father," Emily answered. "My mother, well, she left us when I was very little. My father raised me alone." Darlene felt a pang in her heart. The story Michael had told his daughter was exactly what Jin Yu had feared. "How sad, dear. Don't you have any memories of her?" Emily thought for a moment. "Sometimes I have strange flashes. I dream of a woman singing in a language I don't understand. But my father says it's just my imagination." Darlene almost cried right then. Jin Yu had always told her how she used to sing Chinese lullabies to Lily when she was a baby. After class, Darlene returned to NYC with her heart racing. She was absolutely certain Emily was Lily. Now came the hardest part, telling Jin Yu without creating false hope. When she arrived at the hotel that night, Darlene found Jin Yu waiting in the lobby. The businesswoman had found a way around the manager's prohibition. She would come down to the lobby during Darlene's shift and talk with her while she worked. "Well, did you see her?" Jin Yu asked anxiously. Darlene glanced around to make sure no one was listening. "Jin Yu, you need to prepare yourself. I think we've found your daughter." Jin Yu nearly fainted. She gripped Darlene's arm to steady herself. "Are you sure? How is she? Is she okay? Does she look like me?" "Easy, take a deep breath. Yes, I'm almost certain it's her. She's a beautiful, intelligent young woman, works as a teacher. But Jin Yu, she believes you abandoned her. This is going to be very hard." The two talked until the early hours of the morning, carefully planning their next steps. Darlene would keep attending English classes, building a bond with Emily, before revealing anything about her true identity. Over the following weeks, Darlene became Emily's favorite student. She always arrived with some homemade sweets or a small gift, creating an atmosphere of warmth and trust. Emily began opening up about her life. She shared that she lived with her father in a modest home, that she'd always dreamed of traveling the world, but her father was overprotective and wouldn't allow it. "He's afraid of losing me too," Emily said. "Ever since my mother left us, he gets paranoid about everything." Darlene used these moments to plant little seeds of curiosity. "Have you ever wanted to learn about Chinese culture? NYC has an interesting Chinese community." "Actually, I've always felt a strange pull toward Asian things," Emily admitted. "Chinese food, decorations, I'd even like to learn Mandarin, but my father gets upset when I talk about it." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now back to the story. Darlene realized Emily's childhood memories hadn't been completely erased. There was something inside her that still connected to her Chinese roots. One evening, Darlene decided to test it. She brought to class a small Chinese decoration Mrs. Zhao had given her years ago, a tiny golden bell engraved with dragons. When Emily saw it, her expression changed completely. She was mesmerized, delicately touching the bell. "How beautiful," she murmured. "It reminds me of something." Without thinking, Emily began humming a soft melody. It was a Chinese lullaby, the very same one Jin Yu used to sing. Darlene felt chills run through her. This was the proof she needed. "Where did you learn that song?" Darlene asked, trying to sound casual. Emily stopped humming abruptly, looking confused. "I don't know. Sometimes that tune just pops into my head out of nowhere. My father says it's just my imagination." That night, Darlene rushed to tell Jin Yu about the bell test. The businesswoman wept with emotion upon hearing her daughter still held memories of her. "I need to see her," Jin Yu begged. "I can't wait any longer." "We can't rush this. If you show up out of nowhere, you'll scare her. She might even run away." But Jin Yu was desperate. The next day, without warning Darlene, she took a taxi to the English school in Jersey City. Darlene was in the middle of a lesson when she saw Jin Yu walk into the school. Her heart nearly stopped from shock. "Excuse me, Emily. I need to attend to someone outside real quick." Darlene rushed to Jin Yu and pulled her into a secluded corner. "What are you doing here? You'll ruin everything." "I need to see her, Darlene, just from afar, please." Darlene realized she wouldn't be able to convince Jin Yu to leave. She asked Jin Yu to wait in the lobby while she returned to class. Emily noticed Darlene seemed flustered when she came back. "Are you okay? You look nervous." "Everything's fine, dear. Just a friend who needs to sort some things out here." For the rest of the lesson, Emily occasionally glanced toward the lobby where she could see an elegant woman sitting and waiting. "Is your friend Chinese?" Emily suddenly asked. Darlene's heart raced. "Why do you ask?" "I don't know, she reminds me of someone. It's a strange feeling." When class ended, Darlene quickly left with Jin Yu before Emily could approach them. In the taxi back, Jin Yu was in tears. "She's even more beautiful than I imagined," she sobbed. "She looks just like me when I was her age." "Jin Yu, you almost ruined everything. She noticed you were Chinese and felt something strange. That might have raised suspicions." "I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. But she recognized me, Darlene. I saw it in her eyes. Some part of me still exists in her." The following week, Emily was visibly restless during class. She kept asking questions about Darlene's Chinese friend. "Does she come here often? I'd like to meet her." Darlene could see Emily's curiosity growing dangerously. It was time to start preparing her for the truth. "Emily, can I ask you something personal?" "Of course, Mrs. Darlene." "Have you ever questioned your father's version of what happened to your mother? Never felt the urge to seek the truth?" Emily fell silent for a long moment. "Sometimes I think about it, but my father gets very upset when I bring it up. He says she left us because she didn't love us." "What if I told you there's another side to that story?" Emily's eyes widened. "What do you mean?" Darlene took a deep breath. It was now or never. "Emily, my Chinese friend didn't come here by chance. She's been searching for the daughter her ex-husband took from her 15 years ago." Emily turned pale. "Are you suggesting that—" "I'm saying maybe your mother didn't abandon you. Maybe she was kept from staying with you." Emily abruptly stood up. "That's crazy. My father would never lie to me." "Emily, please listen." "No, you're making up stories. My father raised me alone after she left us." Emily stormed out of the room in tears, leaving Darlene heartbroken. She had pushed too hard too soon. That night, Darlene told Jin Yu what had happened. The two women blamed themselves for the failure. "I should have waited longer," Darlene lamented. "No, it's my fault. I shouldn't have shown up at the school," Jin Yu cried. For 3 weeks, Emily didn't return to English class. Darlene called the school but was always told the teacher was sick. Jin Yu fell into a deep depression. She stopped eating, barely left the suite, and Darlene feared she might harm herself. "I lost my daughter again," Jin Yu kept repeating. "This time, forever." Then something unexpected happened. Emily showed up at the hotel. Darlene was cleaning the lobby when she saw the young teacher walk in nervously. Emily approached the front desk and asked for Darlene. "Emily, what are you doing here?" Darlene asked, dropping everything to rush over. "I need to talk to you and your Chinese friend." Darlene's heart pounded. "Are you sure? I've spent these weeks thinking about what you said. I started questioning everything, looking at my life differently. I need to know the truth." Darlene led Emily to a quiet corner of the lobby. "Before anything else, you need to know this could change your life completely. Are you sure you want to find out?" "I am. I can't live with these doubts anymore." Darlene called Jin Yu using the room phone. 15 minutes later, the Chinese businesswoman came down to the lobby, visibly nervous and emotional. When Emily saw Jin Yu approaching, she felt a strange familiarity. There was something about this woman that stirred something deep in her memory. "Emily, this is Jin Yu," Darlene introduced. "Jin Yu, this is Emily. Or Lily." Jin Yu stepped forward slowly, tears in her eyes. "My daughter," she whispered in English mixed with Mandarin. Emily studied Jin Yu's face closely. It was like looking in a mirror and seeing her future self. You're really my mother," I am, my little Lily. I spent 15 years searching for you." The two women stared at each other in silence for long minutes. Emily was processing everything, while Jin Yu fought the urge to run and embrace her daughter. "If you're my mother, why did my father say you abandoned us?" Jin Yu took a deep breath before answering. "Because he lied to you, my love. I never wanted to leave you. He wouldn't let me stay." "That doesn't make sense. Why would he do that?" Darlene intervened gently. "Emily, sometimes adults make wrong choices thinking they're protecting the people they love." "But 15 years, Mom." Emily had called Jin Yu Mom without realizing it. 15 years without trying to find me." "My child, I never stopped looking. I spent my entire fortune hiring detectives, offered rewards, did everything I could. Your father kept moving cities whenever someone got close." Emily began to cry. "I always knew something was wrong. I always felt this emptiness, like part of me was missing." Jin Yu could no longer hold back. She stepped forward and carefully embraced Emily. "Do you remember the song I used to sing you to sleep?" Emily pulled back slightly and looked into her mother's eyes. "The tune I sometimes hum." "Yes, my love. It's a Chinese lullaby my mother sang to me." The two began humming the song together, and in that moment Emily knew this woman was truly her mother. Darlene watched the scene with emotion, feeling she'd helped reunite a family torn apart unjustly. "What now?" Emily asked. "What do we do? My father, he can't know you found me." "Why not?" Jin Yu asked. "Because he's in serious trouble, Mom. Money problems, dangerous people. If he knows you're here, he might try something." Darlene and Jin Yu exchanged worried glances. The situation was more complicated than they'd imagined. "What kind of trouble?" Darlene asked. "He owes a lot of money to some people. He's always nervous, always looking over his shoulder. Sometimes I get scared." Jin Yu felt a pang of concern for her daughter. "Do you still live with him?" "I do, but I'm thinking of leaving. I can't take the tension anymore." "Then come stay with me at the hotel," Jin Yu offered immediately. "I can't just disappear. He'll come looking for me." The three spent the next hours carefully planning their next steps. It was important Emily maintained her normal routine while gradually reconnecting with her mother. They agreed Emily would come to the hotel 3 times a week during her supposed tutoring hours. This way she could spend time with Jin Yu without raising suspicion. During these visits, mother and daughter began rebuilding their lost relationship. Jin Yu shared stories about her family in China, showed photos of Emily's childhood, and taught her words in Mandarin. Emily discovered she had grandparents, uncles, and cousins in China who had never known she existed, an entire family waiting for her on the other side of the world. "Why did you separate?" Emily asked during one of their visits. Jin Yu took a deep breath before answering. "Your father was very possessive and controlling. He didn't want you to learn about Chinese culture, said it would be harmful to you. We fought about it constantly." "And then?" "One day things got too tense between us. I threatened to go back to China and take you with me. The next day when I came home from work, you were gone." Emily absorbed every word, finally understanding the pieces of her story that had never made sense. "I vaguely remember moving around. Every time I got used to a place, we had to leave again." "He was running from my investigators," Jin Yu explained. "Every time someone got close, he'd move to another city." During these conversations, Darlene was always present, acting as a mediator and translator when needed. She had become essential to the family's reconciliation. One day, Emily arrived at the hotel visibly shaken. "What happened, dear?" Darlene asked. "My father's acting really strange. Yesterday he asked if I'd met anyone new lately. He seemed suspicious." Jin Yu grew worried. "Maybe you should stay here at the hotel for a few days." "I can't. If I disappear from home, he'll know something's up. He might panic." The three women decided to be even more careful. Emily would only come to the hotel once a week, always making sure she wasn't being followed. But fate had other plans. The next week, Michael showed up at the English school looking for Emily. "Where's my daughter?" he demanded aggressively from the secretary. "She's not working today, sir. She's giving private lessons." "Private lessons where?" The secretary didn't know, as she didn't have that information, Michael grew even more suspicious. He knew Emily had never given private lessons before. That night, when Emily got home, she found her father waiting in the living room. "Where were you?" he asked accusingly. "Giving private lessons, Dad. I need to earn extra money." "For whom?" Emily made up a story about a wealthy family from South Beach, but she could tell he wasn't convinced. "Emily, are you hiding something from me?" "Of course not, Dad. Why would you think that?" Michael stepped closer, his gaze intimidating. "Because I've known you since the day you were born, and I know when you're lying." Emily's heart raced. She'd never seen her father so agitated. "Dad, I'm fine. You're being paranoid." "Paranoid? Paranoid is knowing people have been looking for me for years, people who want to take you away." Emily's blood ran cold. Could he know about Jin Yu? "What people, Dad?" "People from the past, Emily. People who think they have a claim on you." Emily realized he was talking about her birth mother. He knew she was in the country. "Dad, I need to ask you something really important." "What?" "Did my mother really abandon us?" Michael's face changed completely. He turned pale and nervous. "Why are you asking this now?" "Because I have a right to know the truth." Michael sank heavily onto the couch. "Your mother was a complicated person, Emily. She wanted to take you away from the United States, far from me. I couldn't let that happen. So you stole me from her." "I protected you." "She was going to raise you in a foreign country, far from everything you knew." Emily felt a mix of anger and sadness. "You lied to me my whole life." "I did what I thought was best for you. The best thing would have been letting me meet my mother and decide for myself." Michael stood up abruptly. "She's here, isn't she? You found her." Emily didn't answer, but her expression confirmed her father's suspicions. "Where is she, Emily?" "I won't tell you. You don't understand the danger that woman represents. She has power, money, connections. She could destroy our lives." "Our lives are already destroyed, Dad. We've been running. You owe money to everyone. We have no peace." Michael realized he had lost control of the situation. "If you leave this house to meet her, don't come back. Choose me or her." Emily looked at her father with tears in her eyes. "It shouldn't be a choice, Dad. It should be a complete family." "She abandoned us, Emily." "No, Dad. You're the one who tore us apart." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing. Emily left the house that night and went straight to the hotel. She arrived at Jin Yu's suite in tears, telling her everything that had happened. "He found out about you, Mum, and he gave me an ultimatum, either stay with him or come to you." Jin Yu held her daughter tightly. "What do you want to do, my love?" "I want to stay with you, but I'm afraid of what he might do." Darlene, who was present, tried to calm them both. "Maybe it's time to talk to him. Show him you don't want to fight, just reconnect as a family." "Darlene is right," Jin Yu agreed. "I don't want to take you away from your father, Emily. I just want to make up for lost time." But he won't accept that. For him, it's all or nothing. The three women spent the night discussing their options. It was an extremely delicate situation that required great care. The next day, Michael showed up at the hotel. Darlene was working when she saw an agitated man talking to the front desk. From what she overheard, he was asking about a Chinese guest. Darlene discreetly approached and heard Michael say, "I know my daughter is here. I want to speak to the Chinese woman staying in the presidential suite." The receptionist explained he couldn't share guest information, but Michael was growing increasingly upset. Darlene quickly went upstairs to warn Jin Yu and Emily about Michael's presence. "He's in the lobby," Darlene informed them. "Very agitated, demanding to speak to you." Emily turned pale. "He came after me." "What do we do?" Jin Yu asked. "I think it's best to face this head-on," Darlene decided. "Running won't solve anything." Emily took a deep breath. "I'll go down to talk to him." "Not alone," Jin Yu said. "We'll go together." "Mom, this could make things worse." "I don't care. We've hidden long enough." The three went down to the lobby. When Michael saw Emily with Jin Yu, his face twisted in anger. "I knew it," he shouted. "You're turning my daughter against me." Jin Yu stepped forward calmly. Michael, I didn't come here to fight. I just want to know my daughter. Your daughter? Your daughter? I raised this girl alone for 15 years. And I'm grateful for that, Jin Yu replied. You did a wonderful job. She's an amazing young woman. Jin Yu's response caught Michael off guard. He had expected a fight, not gratitude. Then why come after her now? Because I'm her mother, Michael. I never stopped loving her, never stopped looking for her. Emily intervened. Dad, she doesn't want to take me from you. She just wants to be part of my life. It doesn't work like that, Emily. She has money, power. She'll convince you to leave with me. I'm not going anywhere, Dad. I want to stay in the United States, continue my life here. I just want to meet my mother, too. Jin Yu moved even closer to Michael. I understand your fear, Michael. You're right. I have financial means. But I didn't come here to buy my daughter's love. I came because a mother never gives up searching for her child. You can say that now, but later. There is no later. Emily is an adult. She can make her own decisions. If she wants a relationship with me, great. If not, I'll respect that. Michael looked at Emily, trying to read her intentions. And you, Emily, what do you want? I want to know both sides of my story, Dad. I want to understand where I come from, who my family is in China, what my cultural heritage is. What about me? You're my father. You raised me, taught me everything I know. That will never change. Darlene watched the conversation with emotion, seeing a family trying to rebuild after years of separation. Maybe you can try taking things slowly, she suggested. No rush, no pressure. Michael looked at Darlene. And who are you in all this? I'm the person who helped them find each other, and now I want to help you find a way to coexist. Michael fell silent for several minutes, processing everything. All right, he finally said, but I have conditions. What conditions? Jin Yu asked. Emily continues living with me. Visits happen with my knowledge, and no trying to take her to China. I accept all your conditions, Jin Yu agreed immediately. Emily smiled for the first time since everything had begun. Really, Dad, you'll let me? I'll try, Emily. I'll try. For you. The four sat at a table in the hotel cafe to talk further. It was the first official gathering of their reunited family. Over the next few hours, Michael and Jin Yu spoke about the past 15 years. He shared the struggles of raising Emily alone, his fears and insecurities. She spoke of the pain of separation, the sleepless nights searching for news of her daughter. I was afraid you'd try to take her from me, Michael admitted. And I was afraid she'd hate me for abandoning you, Jin Yu confessed. Emily sat between them, hearing both sides and finally understanding the complexity of it all. You both love me, she said. Each in your own way, but you both do. There doesn't have to be a competition. Darlene smiled, seeing her mission nearly complete. So how do we move forward? Michael asked. How about family dinners once a week? Jin Yu suggested. I can cook Chinese dishes for you. You cook? Emily asked, surprised. Yes, my love. Your grandmother taught me many traditional recipes. My grandmother. You have a whole family in China waiting to meet you, Emily. Grandparents, uncles, cousins. Emily's eyes sparkled with emotion. They know about me? They do now. I sent them photos of you this week. Michael felt a pang of jealousy but tried to control it. What if one day she wants to visit China? He asked. Then she'll visit. And maybe you can come too, Jin Yu replied, surprising everyone. Me? Of course, you're her father. You're part of her family. Michael hadn't expected such generosity from Jin Yu. I don't have the money for a trip like that. Leave that to me, Jin Yu said with a smile. In the following weeks, their new family dynamic began to take shape. Emily spent 3 afternoons a week at the hotel with Jin Yu, learning Mandarin and exploring her maternal culture. Jin Yu bought a comfortable home in South Beach, near the hotel where she had stayed. She wanted to remain close to her daughter and start a new life in the United States. Michael, initially resistant, began to accept and even appreciate Jin Yu's presence in Emily's life. He realized that his ex-wife truly had no interest in breaking the family apart, only in being part of it. Darlene was promoted to head of housekeeping at the hotel after management discovered how she had helped resolve such a delicate situation. Jin Yu made sure to speak personally with manager Mr. Wilson, praising Darlene's dedication and sensitivity. "This woman is a treasure," Jin Yu told the manager. "She doesn't just speak Mandarin, she understands people's hearts." Darlene received a significant raise and the opportunity to work as an interpreter for the hotel's Asian guests. But life is never simple, and new challenges arose. One day, Emily came home and found strange men talking to her father. They looked intimidating and spoke in hushed tones. "Dad, who are these people?" Emily asked after the men left. "No one important, sweetheart, just some acquaintances." But Emily noticed her father was nervous and sweating. That night, she told Jin Yu about the strange men. "Mom, I think Dad's in trouble. He owes money to dangerous people." Jin Yu grew worried. She had built a relationship of respect with Michael and didn't want anything bad to happen to him. "Do you know how much he owes?" "I don't, but it must be a lot. He's always tense, always looking over his shoulder." Jin Yu made a decision that surprised everyone. "I'll talk to him about it." "Mom, he won't accept help from you." "Maybe he will if it's for the family's sake." The next day, Jin Yu went to the house where Michael and Emily lived. It was a modest home, very different from the luxury she was accustomed to. "Michael, we need to talk about something important. If it's about Emily, I've already said I accept her having a relationship with you. It's not about Emily. It's about the men who showed up here yesterday." Michael's face tensed. "That's none of your business, Jin Yu." "It is because it involves my daughter's safety." Michael sighed deeply. "I have some financial troubles, but I'll handle it." "What kind of troubles?" "Gambling debts, high-interest loans, things that piled up over the years." Jin Yu understood the situation was serious. "How much do you owe?" "A lot of money, Jin Yu, more than I can pay." "I can help." Michael bristled. "I don't want your help. I don't want to owe you anything." "Michael, this isn't about pride, it's about protecting the family. You don't understand. These people don't play around. If I don't pay, they could hurt Emily." Jin Yu felt her blood run cold. "Then you have to let me help. If I accept your help, I'll owe you for the rest of my life. You won't owe me a thing. We're family now, Michael. Families help each other." Michael wrestled with his pride for a few minutes. "I don't know if I can accept this." "You can and you will. For Emily." That afternoon, Jin Yu transferred a significant sum to Michael's account, enough to settle all his debts. When Emily learned what had happened, she was moved by her mother's generosity. "You saved our dad," she said, hugging Jin Yu. "I saved our family," Jin Yu corrected. Michael was initially embarrassed by the situation, but gradually accepted that he was part of a new family dynamic. "How can I repay you?" he asked Jin Yu. "By letting me be part of Emily's life. That's all I want." The following months were about rebuilding and discovery. Emily quickly learned Mandarin, discovered she had a talent for Chinese cooking, and became enchanted by stories of her mother's family. Jin Yu started a small business importing Chinese goods, with Michael as her partner. She wanted him to have dignity and financial independence. Darlene continued to be the bridge between cultures, helping with translations and serving as an advisor to the family. Jin Yu funded the education of Darlene's grandchildren and offered her a home of her own. "You changed my life, Darlene," said Jin Yu. "If it weren't for you, I would never have found my daughter. And if it weren't for you, I would never have had the chance to use everything I learned from Mrs. Zhao for something so important," Darlene replied. A year after their first meeting, the family decided to take a trip together to China. Emily would finally meet her grandparents and her entire maternal family. The journey was emotional for everyone. Michael Reynolds was amazed by the beauty of Chinese culture and the warm welcome from Jin Yu's family. "I was wrong," he admitted to Jin Yu during the trip. "Emily needed to know her roots." "And you were right too," Jin Yu replied. "She needed to be raised in the United States. She needed you. Maybe everything happened exactly as it was meant to." Emily fell in love with China, but confirmed that her place was in the United States. She had found the perfect balance between her two cultures. "I'm American with a Chinese heart," she said with a laugh. When they returned to NYC, Darlene was waiting for them at the airport with a surprise. She had organized a welcome party at the hotel with all the staff who had followed their story from the beginning. Manager Wilson gave an emotional speech about how this story had changed the hotel's perspective on human relationships. "Sometimes true wealth isn't in the vaults but in people's hearts," he said. Jin Yu looked around, seeing Michael laughing with Emily, Darlene lovingly organizing everything, and felt she had finally found her true family. "Darlene," she called, "there's something I never asked you. What is it, dear? Why did you help me? Why risk your job for a stranger?" Darlene smiled wisely. "Because when you care for someone who's been suffering for so long, like I did for Mrs. Zhao, you learn that a mother's pain is universal. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, the language you speak, or the money you have. A mother searching for her child is the most sacred thing there is. And now, what do you want for your life?" "I want to keep being the bridge between people who need to understand each other. The world needs more bridges and fewer walls." Jin Yu hugged Darlene tenderly. "You're my American sister, Darlene, forever. And you're my Chinese sister, Jin Yu, forever." Emily watched the two women who had changed her life and felt immense gratitude. "Dad," she said to Michael, "do you realize how blessed we are?" "I do, my daughter. Sometimes we lose the people we love to learn to cherish them even more when we find them again." The party went on late into the night. It was a celebration not just of a family's reunion, but proof that true love overcomes any barrier. At the end of the night, when everyone had left, the three women who began this journey, Jin Yu, Emily, and Darlene, sat together on the porch of the new house. "Mom," Emily said, "do you still want me to move to China someday?" "Only if you want to, my love. I've learned that home isn't a geographical place. Home is where the people we love are." "And you, Dad?" Emily asked Michael. "Are you still afraid of losing me?" "I'm not afraid of anything anymore, Emily. I've learned that true love never loses. Love only multiplies." Darlene listened to this conversation and thought of Mrs. Zhao, who had passed away years before. She was certain the old woman would be proud to see how her teachings had helped unite a family. "Mrs. Zhao always said that God puts the right people in our path at the right time," said Darlene. "Now I understand that you two found each other through me because it was meant to be. And we found you because you had an open heart to help us," replied Jin Yu. "That's what life is," added Emily, "a series of encounters that happen when we're ready for them." The following years brought even more joy to the family. Emily became a respected Mandarin teacher, combining her two passions, teaching and preserving Chinese culture in the United States. Michael discovered he was an excellent businessman, running the import business with dedication and creativity. He and Jin Yu developed a strong and respectful partnership. Darlene opened a small language school, specializing in teaching Chinese to Americans and English to Chinese immigrants. She became a respected cultural bridge in the community. Jin Yu decided to settle permanently in the United States. She sold part of her business in China and focused on building a solid family life in the country that had adopted her daughter. 3 years later, Emily married a history professor she met at university. The ceremony was bilingual, celebrating both their cultures. Michael walked her down the aisle and Jin Yu blessed the couple in Mandarin. "Now I'm sure everything happened the way it was supposed to," Michael said during his father of the bride speech. "My daughter didn't lose one mother to gain another. She gained a complete family." Darlene cried with emotion throughout the ceremony. Seeing Emily happy, fulfilled, connected to her roots, and building her own family was the greatest reward she could have received. On the first anniversary of Emily's wedding, Michael and Jin Yu welcomed a granddaughter. The little girl was named Hope Zhao Reynolds, honoring the woman who had taught Darlene to be a bridge between cultures. "Our granddaughter will grow up speaking 3 languages, Jin Yu said proudly. English from her father, Chinese from her mother's family, and the language of the heart that Aunt Darlene teaches. Michael held his granddaughter in his arms and looked at his extended family, Jin Yu, Darlene, Emily, his son-in-law, all gathered around the baby. 15 years ago, I thought I was protecting my daughter, he reflected. Now I understand I was just delaying the inevitable. True love always finds a way. Darlene rocked the baby and sang the same Chinese lullaby she had heard Jin Yu hum so many times. The child smiled, as if recognizing the melody in her DNA. "This little girl will grow up knowing where she comes from and where she's going," Darlene said. "She'll have deep roots and strong wings." "Like every child should," Jin Yu agreed. Time passed, and the family continued to grow. Emily had 2 more children, and Michael became the most present and loving grandfather imaginable. Jin Yu devoted herself to teaching her grandchildren Chinese cooking, keeping the family tradition alive. Darlene became the children's adoptive grandmother, telling stories from different cultures and teaching them the importance of respecting differences. One day when Hope was 5, the same age Emily had been when she was separated from her mother, the little girl asked Darlene, "Grandma Darlene, why does Grandma Jin Yu sometimes look sad when she sees me?" Darlene knelt to her level. "Because you remind her so much of your mommy when she was little like you. Your grandma missed seeing her grow up for a long time. And now she's not sad anymore. Now she's happy because she gets to watch you grow. She's learned that love is never lost, it just stays tucked in the heart, waiting for the right time to show itself again." Hope hugged Darlene tightly. "I love you, Grandma Darlene. You're the wisest person I know. And I love you too, my little princess. You and your siblings are proof that all the hardships were worth it." At that moment, Jin Yu and Michael Reynolds arrived home from work together. They had developed a routine of picking up their grandchildren from school and spending the afternoons caring for them. "How were the little princes today?" Michael asked, referring to the grandchildren. "They were angels," Darlene replied. "Hope was asking about our family stories." "It's important for them to know where they came from," said Jin Yu, "so they never feel lost." "They won't feel lost," Michael assured. "They have roots on 2 continents and love in every corner of this house." Emily came home from work and found this scene. The children playing in the backyard, her father and mother chatting on the porch, Darlene organizing the toys. It was the perfect definition of family. "How was your day?" she asked, kissing everyone. "Perfect," they all answered in unison, and it truly was perfect. Not because there were no problems or difficulties, but because there was enough love to overcome any obstacle. That evening, after dinner, and once the children were asleep, the adults gathered in the living room to talk about future plans. "I've been thinking about writing a book about our story," Emily said, "so other separated families know there's always hope." "That's a wonderful idea," Darlene supported. "Our story could inspire so many people." "And the title?" Jin Yu asked. "I'm still thinking. Maybe something about bridges, about connections. How about No One Understood the Rich Chinese Woman until the black housekeeper started talking to her?" Michael suggested with a laugh. Everyone chuckled at the suggestion. "It's too long for a book title," Emily said, "but it's the perfect description of our beginning." "Our beginning was when you 2 met in that hotel hallway," Darlene recalled. "But our real story started when we decided family isn't just about blood. It's about choice. We chose to love each other despite our differences," Jin Yu added. "We chose to forgive past mistakes," Michael continued. "And we chose to build a future together," Emily finished. Darlene looked at this family she had helped build and felt deep satisfaction. Mrs. Zhao would be proud to know her teachings had created so much love and unity. "You know what I've learned from all of you?" Darlene said. "I've learned that sometimes God uses simple people to do extraordinary things. I was just a housekeeper who spoke Mandarin. You turned me into the person who brought a family together." "You were always extraordinary, Darlene," Jin Yu said. "We were just lucky enough to see it." "And you, Mom," Emily said to Jin Yu. "What have you learned from all this?" Jin Yu thought for a moment before answering. "I've learned that a mother's love doesn't expire. No matter how many years pass, how many oceans separate us, a mother's heart will always beat strongest for her child." "And you, Dad?" Emily asked Michael. "I've learned that protecting the ones we love doesn't mean hiding the truth from them. It means giving them all the tools so they can choose their own path." Everyone fell silent for a moment, absorbing the wisdom born from pain and reunion. "And now?" Darlene asked. "What are the plans for the future?" "I want to take the whole family to China next year," Jin Yu said. The children need to know their Eastern roots. And I want to expand our business, Michael said. Maybe open a branch in China. I want to finish my master's in linguistics, Emily said. I want to research bilingual families. And I want to keep being the proudest grandma in the world, Darlene said with a laugh. Everyone laughed together, imagining the future full of possibilities that awaited them. 10 years had passed since that conversation. The family had grown even more, with more grandchildren arriving and filling the home with joy and chaos. Emily's book was published and became a bestseller, inspiring hundreds of families not to give up searching for their lost loved ones. Michael Reynolds and Jin Yu's business expanded to 3 countries, creating a commercial bridge between the United States and China. Darlene became a respected speaker, talking about cultural diversity and the importance of breaking down language barriers. But most importantly of all, they remained united, facing every challenge life presented together. End of story. Now tell us what you thought of this heartwarming story. Do you believe true love always finds a way? Leave a comment sharing your thoughts and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more touching stories.